Welcome to the Essential Oils Podcast, the podcast where we talk not only about essential oils, but natural health in general. And for those interested, how to build a wellness based business around it. I strongly believe that everyone should have the knowledge to be a health coach in their own home. And when you understand health better, you're more confident, you get less sick, and you rely less on doctors on popping pills. This podcast is dedicated to teaching and empowering others to be healers in their own home. And with the help of my wife, Nini, we hope to take you on a powerful journey of health discovery. Welcome to the show. What's up, guys? Happy Thursday. Welcome back to another Essential Oils podcast. And I don't think it's just about essential oils, really. It's about natural health. It's about dialing in the concepts and the principles of natural health. And that's what I really want to get across this week. And by the way, if you're wondering, where's Nini? Where has Nini been? Don't worry. I promise I'm going to bring her back. But one thing I will say is she's the matriarch of our home, and she does so much. And so right now, she is doing things that we need her to do, being a mother and watching the kids and helping out and supporting in that way. But don't worry, I have an amazing show today, and I'm going to talk to you really about a lot of the concepts that I learned in Dr. Shauna Swan's book, Countdown. And we talk about there's a huge epidemic going on that no one is talking about. And I'm talking about sperm count reduction in men, like over 40% in the last few years, miscarriages all the way up, women relying on IVF therapy. And, you know, why is that? Why is this such a huge thing? And so I want to talk about that. I want to figure out why are we in this epidemic, and how come no one's talking about it? And we see all these things with gender issues, and I'm not here to cast any shame or doubt or anything on it, but it's just interesting. And Dr. Shauna Swan talks about this in the book Countdown. And so I'm going to talk to you about why we need to really start evaluating some of the things we have in our own household. And I think how essential oils can be really a solution. And I found it to be a very positive solution. So let's get into it. I want to talk about some facts, though, right away. And this is what Dr. Shauna Swan calls spermageddon. Okay. Sperm count has reduced over 40% in the last few years. Now, why is that? There is a high correlation with environmental factors and sperm count. Estrogen and testosterone, guys, are being altered. And here's something that you may not know, but the womb does not actually protect the fetus from these chemicals. You know, when my son was only 4 years old, I had a hair tissue mineral analysis ran on him, and he had a high amount of lead in his body. How is that possible? The health coach was asking me, Joel, do you play with lead toys? Is there lead in your paint? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm living in a house that was built in the 1940s in San Francisco. I have no idea what is actually in that paint. And I don't think he plays with lead paint toys. I have no idea. But I will tell you this. We know that from Dr. Dan Pompa, a lot of these toxins are a toxin burden that is delivered through the mother. So if you might have gotten things that your mom, it's generational, guys. It's passed down. It can be passed down from generation to generation, this toxic burden, coupled with other things that we know, certain shots and things have heavy metals and things in it. So who knows how my son at only 4 years old had a heavy burden of lead. And we know lead is a neurotoxin, and that could affect things in his brain, such as autism and all these things. So let's talk more about this. Let's talk about the diminished male. Okay. Since the 1940s, sperm count in males used to be a normal male was considered to be 60. Now the new normal is 15. When you go to a sperm bank and you look like, hey, what is a male what is the normal status of a male that could get someone pregnant? Well, that number is 15. That's considered normal. That's what they're looking at. But in the 1940s, it was 60. We've completely lowered the standard. Many of us are relying on things like TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, which I think it could be great. It's a functional medicine alternative. It can be great for men to get them back. And, some of these men are just not virile, no energy, nothing like that. But did you know that TRT actually lowers your sperm count? So think about that. Here you are, you're trying to get pregnant. You're thinking, I have no energy. I'm not feeling it. I have no spark in my life. Oh, let me just go get some TRT. That'll make things better. And then I'll get my wife pregnant and life will be all good. C'est la vie. But the fact of the matter is TRT actually lowers your sperm count, even though it might be doing all these other, factors, downstream factors that are helping you. it's lowering your sperm count. So we can't just take a shot always and expect that, hey, that's going to help things out. The other thing is it takes two to tango, right? We know that women are getting their period a lot sooner in life. Now, why is this a big deal? Why should we even care? Well, we're also seeing an increase in things like endometriosis, PCOS, fibroids. All these things are increasing, and many women are having these infertility issues. They're having more miscarriages, and they're relying on IVF. In Sweden in 2003, they did a 9-year study, and it showed that there was an increase in 72% of miscarriages. Wow. Phthalates, things like aspirin, they can actually alter parts of the brain. Phthalates, when I'm talking about phthalates, I'm talking about like plastics, guys, right? A lot of these EDCs actually affect gender identity during pregnancy development. Wow. I mean, I don't think anybody's really talking about this. So, and at the end of this video, I'm going to actually share with you 12 to 13 ways that you can start to mitigate this in your life, and you can start to transition to a more low tox lifestyle so that you're not relying on these things. You're not being affected. You're not being harmed as much. I got 13 really good solutions that you're going to like, but I want to keep talking about this. What are some reasons? What are some challenges that we're facing? One is insulin resistance and sperm count. Number 2, riding a bike. That can be a problem, men. Watch out. Stress. I think we're all a little bit stressed, right? A little bit of stress. Stress is going to actually lower your sperm motility. Another big one, soda. I remember I used to have a dad's root beer. Every time I would come home from school, I'd walk home and have at least one dad's root beer. Oh my God, I don't know what that thing was doing to my body. Marijuana, also terrible for sperm production. Alcohol, not so bad, but it is up there. Tylenol, guys. Tylenol will alter your sperm. Again, I mentioned TRT, or it will restore your muscle strength, but it's going to impair sperm production. From 1999 to 2014, a study was done showing antidepressants actually reduce your sperm motility. And it takes about 60 to 70 days to reverse that sperm count. BMI has also been associated. A BMI of 30 or higher has been associated with lower sperm count and volume, decreased motility, and shape. It's interesting too. Right now in Europe, they've outlawed these top 3 chemicals that actually crush male hormones. But guess what? Not in the US. Menopause, we've seen that affects women's hormones. Plastics, they've been finding plastics in mother's breast milk. We know, Joe Rogan just did talking about glyphosate has come in the news recently. There's a huge court case right now in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court's talked to the EPA, our Environmental Protection Agency, and they said, you need to do a better job. You actually need to go back and reevaluate what you just told us about glyphosate and Roundup. I did an amazing episode with Dr. Stephanie Seneff. Check that out on the Hack Life podcast. You can see we talk about glyphosate and this toxicity epidemic, and the EPA does need to do a better job. They need to go back and do their homework. And the Supreme Court slapped them and said, you need to come back and give us some real regulations because your studies are not adding up from what we're seeing. So we need to start limiting these. They're finding, again, plastics in mother's breast milks. BPA, estrogen, has estrogen-like properties. That's decreasing sperm quality. Why? Because it mimics estrogen, and it's a lot worse in women. 83%, guys, increase in miscarriage for women that had higher BPA levels. Whoa. It's also associated with PCOS. As a health coach, I run into so many women that have PCOS issues. They have blood sugar dysregulation. They can't, their hormones are out of whack. They can't lose weight. They have probably estrogen dominance, and they're suffering from PCOS. So a lot of this is coming from this toxicity burden that we've been put on, right? Flame retardants. That's another one. Harder to get women pregnant, more miscarriages, more thyroid function gets disrupted. This was actually found, guess what? Highest, 28 times higher in North America over a 15-year study. Here we are thinking we're the greatest country in the world. There's a lot of things great about us. I'm not here to complain, but why are we not protecting ourselves? Why are the agencies not looking out for this? And why in other countries or in Europe, why are they more preventative? Pesticides such as like DDT, we knew that was neurotoxic. Well, guess what? All they did with DDT is they replaced it with something called DNIP, and it's just as damaging. You got to look up this stuff. It's pretty crazy, right? We think we got away from BPA and they changed it to I can't remember, like BPN. But what does that even mean? Is that plastic any better? So start probably switching to glass, looking for other ways that you can mimic your exposure to these plastic toxicities. Let's get into active men. This is a big thing. So let's get into some solutions. What are some of the solutions that we can start looking at? Active men had more sperm concentration. So get active, guys. 15 or more hours a week of activity had a 73% increase of higher sperm motility. So get active, get moving. Some of the areas you want to look at in your own household, and this is why I'm so bullish on essential oils and making that transition because it's just an easy transition to a low tox lifestyle. And I mean, we've transitioned so much where just like colognes and like I have a roller here just made out of essential oils. It's all natural. I mean, these things have amazing plant medicinal therapeutic properties. So I'm just so bullish on this. Now, let me just talk about some of the ways you can actually reduce your toxic burden. One, get rid of the plastic shower curtain. Get rid of your air fresheners. Oh my God. I'm around people with air fresheners now, and they're so fragrant and just disgusting. I mean, they make me want to throw up. I mean, the more you get away from these toxicities, you start to get amazed when you get reintroduced to them, how sensitive your body is. Remove wall-to-wall carpet. Okay. Household dust. That's another one. Household dust becomes a magnet for toxic chemicals. Look at your electronics. That's another thing. Natural wood cabinets. Okay. Go for natural wood. Organic cotton pad for your bed. Use an organic cotton pad. Here's another one that you would never think about, but the soles of your shoes. The soles of your shoes actually bring in weed killers and other plastics into your home. So think about taking your shoes off before you enter someone's home or before you go into your own home. That's a big one, right? When we talk about glyphosate and the spraying, right? These chemicals are being sprayed all out in your daily life, whether you're near a farm or not. They're in the air, and all this stuff is just being transferred and moved by winds and whatever. And so you're bringing that in. So remember that. Get rid of mothballs. Use cedar instead. Number 10, say no to plastic bags. Okay. Use baskets instead of bins. How about that? There's an app out there called the Detox Me app. Get that app, download it. You can see a lot of the ways that you can start implementing, implementing these detox principles in your own home. Okay. Here's one that I would have never thought about. And I tell my kids all the time, but avoid receipts. Every time at like Costco or something, they give the kids the receipt and they draw a smiley face on. I'm like, get rid of that. Give me that thing. I don't want you touching that thing. But in receipts, there's a lot that plastic that they use in the receipt is in there. And so you touch it, you absorb it, and that gets into your body and into your skin. And it can, again, that's just a minor thing, but we have to think about these small cuts add up over time, right? They start to add up over time. And that's what we're really trying to avoid. We're trying to avoid those things. So, that's the thing, guys. I wanted to share with you. We've seen this huge increase in IVF therapy for women. And the big issue, and men with this low T issue. It's such a common thing, and we've just simply put a Band-Aid on it and said, yeah, it's not your fault. Some people just can't get pregnant. And some men are just low in T. No, there's a lot of lifestyle things going on. And I think this plastic revolution we've been bombarded with this over the years, and we're just not aware of it. And so we need to be more aware of it. If you want to learn more, check out Dr. Shauna Swan's book, Countdown. It's an amazing book, and it'll outline a lot of the principles I just discussed. Also, check out my podcast with Dr. Stephanie Seneff, an expert in glyphosate. I just did that podcast maybe like 2 weeks ago. It came out. So check out the Hack Life podcast. You can check it out. I don't know what episode number it is. Dr. Stephanie Seneff. She has a great book too called The Toxic Legacy of Glyphosate. And it's a huge immune disruptor, right? And it's causing problems. So I'll leave you, with this idea. But Einstein said, blind belief in authority is the greatest enemy of truth. And we have seen that, since 2017, they actually did a paper. There was 38 years of data they have. And from 1973 to 2011, sperm concentration in males dropped 52% in Western countries. 52%. Miscarriages are increasing 1% every year. And this rate of adverse reproductive effects in males, testicular cancer, erectile dysfunction. All this stuff is increasing at this, they call it the 1% effect. What are we doing? We've just simply lowered our standards. Again, male sperm has the actual concentration has diminished from 60 to 15. Now we think 15 is the normal, but in the 1940s, it was 60. What is going on, guys? So start losing and eliminating a lot of those plastics and remove that from your home. I think one of the simplest ways you can do that is start with just basic things: perfumes, colognes, the soaps that you're using, that you're putting on your body. And one of the transitions that my wife and I made that was very easy is just through essential oils, using things like doTERRA products. And we just have a regular shipment every month where we get all of our soaps, all of our oils. I mean, now we just make things, like I said, rollers as a cologne. I have an Amavi blend here. And it's just so simple. It smells good, and it's healing and naturally good for you. So that's what we're doing, and that's what I wanted to share with you. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please reach out to me or DM me. You can check me out at Joel Evan Coaching. You can check me out on the Hack Life podcast, or shoot me an email, info@joelevancoaching.com, and I'd love to connect with you guys there. And then the last thing I said, and I mentioned on every show that when we do this, is that my mentor, who really got me into learning more about essential oils, and I had been using them for many, many years, Melody Watts, she is a specialist in functional medicine. She's been doing it for over 15 years and using essential oils. We put together an awesome free course for you guys, and it's called the Continuing Education Course. It's 10 classes. It's covering hormones, skin health, metabolic health, detox, sleep, and much more. If you want that course for free, go to joelevancoaching.com/teach me, and you can sign up. You get the course for free. And once you take the course, if you become a customer and you finish the course in its entirety, send me an email, info@joelevancoaching, and I'm going to send you guys a free gift. I really believe wholeheartedly that this course is powerful. It's going to change lives. And again, I think being a health coach in your own home is what I'm striving for. I want everybody to have this knowledge so that they can carry on the legacy of health in their home and make their families. And when you start to make your family better, you start to make your community better. And the more you can do that, that impact just continues to resonate wherever you're at, your tribe, your community, and then the greater world. So that's my hope for you guys. And that's why we created this course and made it for free. So go ahead and check that out again at joelevancoaching.com. Teach me. Have an amazing Thursday, and I will check you guys out tomorrow for my Friday health hack show. All right, guys.